Okay, so it's EuroAsia Scrum, and it's Thomas and David here. And my update is going to be very short, but I'll just fire away anyway, and then I'll hand over to Thomas. In terms of, was just mentioning to Thomas that I was listening to a Ruby Rogues podcast, and there was one section of it that's going to be particularly interesting to a lot of agile venturers, and that was some recommendations about Bash and shell scripting. There's a shell scripting framework that they've recommended, or that was suggested by one of the people on the panel this time were Bash coders. They do the Ruby version management things, so they're recommending a unit testing framework for Bash, and some tips. And there's also a recommendation for some sysadmin screencasts. So I'll post those up on the Slack later. And the other thing is something that I think will probably help my career development, is finding that even though paradoxically front-end development pays less than Ruby development, most Ruby jobs expect you to be at least as good, or at least competent at front-end development, particularly HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I want to push on and improve that by maybe picking a project that I can work on to push that forward, and maybe picking some new learning resources that might suit me better than the ones I've tried so far.
Well, if you want to work on front end stuff, there's a lot of front end updates in Website 1. Absolutely. I mean, learning front end is quite. I mean, it's quite extensive. There's a lot of stuff you need to think about. But
yes,
one of the first steps, the baby steps you could take is to really understand the cascading style sheets, the CSS, and the chores that we have in Website 1 right now are about doing small twitches to existing CSS, basically, and that could give you an insight in how those things, how CSS works and everything. So I mean, if that's what you're looking for, you and I could pair up on some of the chores in Website 1, and see, I've been doing a lot of front end, so I can show you some do's and don'ts, if that's what you need.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, I mean, I've got a certificate that says I can do HTML and CSS, but I don't give that terrible lot of value because I actually can't get very far with it. Once a CSS file gets as big as it is in a 2014 production project, it's pretty hard for me to pay attention and figure out what I need to keep in my head and what is for later, if you like.
But
so yeah, that'll be really good offer. That's a really good offer. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah,
we're gonna have a dev meeting tonight. So if you wanna join up for a few minutes, and you can grab some of the some chores, basically. Nothing. I don't know how much time you have right now. So understand that your commitment don't have to be so very extensive. You can just grab a few minor chores and play around with it, and that's still valuable for us in the project.
Oh, good. Yes, I was wondering if maybe we did it the other way around, and if you were working on a front-end chore that I could pair with you on it. Yeah, that could work too. I certainly got to clear my desk of other Agile Venture stuff a little bit, because I've opened too many chores or too many stories at the moment, and having that kind of work in progress is it's pretty bad from an Agile point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah. But if you do have the time tonight at 1800 UTC, pop in for a quick chat if you don't do anything else.
Okay, I'll try and I'll see if I can mark that out.
All right. Cool.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, that's my two things. Anything from you, Thomas?
Well, I've been sleepless night here. So I've been busy doing some coding. I have some other projects that I work on, but in terms of website one related things, I wrote some documents and for Cordelia, working a little bit on some workshops that we will try to deliver in that project. So that's exciting. And on website one, I've been going over some Pivotal Tracker stories and adding some new stuff to Pivotal Tracker that we hopefully can discuss in perhaps not in this meeting because we already have a full agenda, but in the upcoming meetings of website one, our dev meetings for website one team, and those meetings are every Wednesday at approximately 6:15 UTC PM, because we have this what is it called, America Scrum at 1800, and then we have the VSO weekly dev meeting. Yeah, so as I described that, it's a little bit of a Quo Vadis, where are we going from now, and so but basically we're going to be voting on the story and assigning ownership and setting acceptance criteria.
Okay, good.
So that's tonight. Yeah.
Any blockers?
No blockers. I have a big bug that we worked on that yesterday, me and Brian, and that's the if you go to projects in any project, or for instance website one, you see that the videos are not being displayed correctly. That bug was reported originally by Paul and Sam, and we well, now for instance the Cordelia project is showing. But if you go to for instance, if you go to website one, let's see here. Yeah, we have zero videos. Yeah, that's so. So yeah. We played around with that yesterday, me and Brian, and for some reason, that at least our theory is that YouTube API does not longer accept queries with multiple authors, as we do, because what we do, we search for certain keywords and in the name, but also we want to filter on authors
yes.
of the videos. And first, we cannot do that anymore. We were playing around with the API a lot yesterday, and it doesn't seem to be possible. So what we need to do is now we need to rethink the way we store information about previous events. And we have this events epic that has been going on for a long time now. We at some point during the summer, the dev team, I was away, and the dev team took the way I'm concerned, a wrong turn in the development of events, and now we have to rethink a little bit on how we deal with events, and also in that job, we want to see what sort of information we want to store locally in our own database. And I think one of the information we need to store is URL to the Hangout, or the recording on YouTube, apart from the live stream URL or something. So this is something that we're going to discuss at length during the meeting tonight, because we need to move forward, especially now when we hit this problem with a bug in the application itself because of the change in an external API. So my strategy is to keep as much as possible in-house. We are dependent on third-party solutions like Google Hangouts and stuff like that, Pivotal Tracker API for certain things. But we want to have as much info as possible stored locally, so we can avoid situation like this where somebody makes a change in the way we can query them, and all of a sudden our functionality is compromised. So
yes, and I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be expensive in developer time to start capturing that data, but I may be wrong.
No, well, when we reach that point where we, set up a model or something, I agree that it will not be, add any extra time or complexity to the application. But the thing is now we are facing this problem that we're not really in the clear on where we want to take this events epic. So we need to, everybody needs to be on the same page right now, and we're not there yet. But we'll get there.
Okay. Yeah.
You see, as you see here in the pivotal tracker, there's a lot of stories concerning events, because that is a complex issue. It's a complex epic, but well, we need to clear some of those stories up and prioritize them. Well, in what steps do we want to implement this? So there's a lot of good ideas, but we need to have a strategy basically.
Yeah.
So that's and my blocker is right now that we're not quite on the same page yet, but hopefully after tonight's meeting we'll be.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of opinions. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So that's all from me. Right. I'll be available for pairing for some time. I'm
broadcast there then.